I do remember how Mr. George Soros published his plan in English. It was done 2015.
Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, we've got Donald Trump coming out and saying, no deal for Canada. Mark Carney's actions, recognizing Palestine as a state, not good for deal making with the Americans. We've got Charlie Kirk's funeral, which has brought out hundreds of thousands of people. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off, we got this. 6 in 10 Canadians say they can never trust Americans again the same way. Are these the same Canadians that were easily manipulated by the government into voting for them after 10 years of financial despair in Canada? That's the question. Got this one here from the CCFR, breaking audio recordings of Public Safety Minister talking about the buyback confiscation program, the Pew Pew buyback. This is another mess. So just looking at the bullet points here, launches Tuesday with a pilot project in Cape Breton. Money pot capped at $742 million after it's exhausted. You get nothing. Admits that if he had to start over, they'd scrap it, but it was a campaign promise. Blames pressure on Cpac. The electorate caucus implies it won't be enforced. Admits Pew Pew owners will not get fair compensation. Offers to pay constituent the difference. Offers to pay bail for constituent if he practices non-compliance and gets arrested. This is a joke. So what you're about to hear here is them talking about the price that people would get for each Pew Pew, and basically each Pew Pew, doesn't matter if there's upgrades on it or anything that's been changed, it's just a set price, and that set price is basically below market value on every single one of them.
Maybe I changed the bull carrier group or a trigger or anything like this. There's no compensation for that.
No, not for that.
We're just saying, this is the blanket.
Yeah.
What you're getting.
It's not a flat fee though. It's not a flat compensation, right? It's not like it's $400 or something. It's every model.
Make a model has $1 value.
$100
Exactly. So like my Sting, and 400, I think it's around $1,200.
Yeah.
But I paid like $2,400 for it. So I'm still losing money.
Probably, right?
Probably.
The idea.
So there you have it. You will be losing money on this stuff, and he doesn't seem to really care about that.
But you're taking stuff away from people that aren't involved.
Yeah. Listen, it's voluntary. Okay, that's the only thing.
It's not voluntary.
Yeah.
So what's the third option? So I deactivate. I turn them in. What's the third option?
Third option is you don't do either.
And what does that make me become?
Then it's up to the local police.
So then what does that make me become? What's that? A criminal?
If police enforce it, yes.
Well, of course the police are going to enforce it. Because you're going to mandate.
This is very confusing. They're basically saying there's three options. Either they show up at your house and deactivate your Pew Pew so it can't be used anymore. They buy it back at below market value. Or the third option is don't do anything, but somehow the police will come and enforce it.
Deactivate or return them at a loss.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
in your case, whatever your losses you tell me, I'll personally.
It's not the point. I'll get upset.
No,
Hey, man, don't shoot a gift horse in the mouth. He's going to pay for your firearms.
He's personally going to pay him for this. Okay. So after listening back to this a few times there, it was hard to hear, but basically there's three options here. As mentioned, you get your Pew Pew disarmed and dismantled or whatever, so it can't be used. They take it from you. They give you below market value. Or option three, you do neither. And then the police come and deal with the situation. And as he admits there, AKA you become a criminal if you don't give up your Pew Pew, and then the police handle you. So this isn't a voluntary program. This is a mandatory program. It's rolling out in Cape Breton here first as a test pilot program to come take law-abiding Canadians' Pew Pews while they let criminals run rampant in the street, ending people, town rapists, going in and out of jail, breaking into little kids' bedrooms, violating young ones, because that's what the Liberals don't have a problem with. I lost mine in a canoeing accident. I wonder if that's going to be a common problem we're going to see going forward here. Meanwhile, Calgary man who essayed a 12-year-old girl gets reduced sentence because he's Indigenous. Because that's stupid. Quite the Indigenous benefit, isn't it? And with that story, we got Sun Dern here with a few more details. Apparently this guy's 25 years old. The girl is 12 years old. Not only did he pow her, beat her up, he also used a metal pole on her, gave her numerous bruises on the arm and neck. There's a bunch of stuff here I cannot read, cannot say on the channel. The Crown only went for 10 years on this guy, and then the judge decided to give him 2 years off because he's Indigenous. Give him a little helping hand there. The Indigenous discount. Yeah, our country is stupid. Someone like this, send them off to North Korea. Why do we want them in our country? Put them in jail, at a work jail for 35 years minimum.
I might as well earn these potential life-changing charges. He might as well earn the charges of being.
This is disgusting. This is the kind of person who should be up for medical testing, find a cure cancer for. We don't need people like this in society. They should have lost the right to be in society. But the liberals are coming to take your pew-pews from law-abiding pew-pew owners. But these guys, let them out early. No, liberal judges say, come on out, just get out of jail early and go attack more people. Meanwhile, in Montreal, we have Antifa being pushed back by riot police because they're too dangerous. I can't play this video, but you can see there's some pepper spray being deployed here. And you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. Meanwhile, in America, they've designated this group as a terror lord group. But in Canada, totally fine. Just destroy everything in the streets. You guys are fine. On this episode of Far Off Ripoff, we've got John Barlow, conservative, posting this. $22 million spent on beans for women, for empowerment. Aims to strengthen gender equality, agency and decision-making, and resource rights for women and girls. Where is this? It's the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is not nonsense that I make up. That's why I bring it up. We got Embrandt posting this, so here's bean empowerment results. What social technological resources, pamphlets, Monsanto seeds, what income generating opportunities. There's never a follow-up, just photo ops. The ambassador made sure of that. Yeah, money disappears. They don't know where it goes. So it goes into someone's bank account. Somebody's getting rich off our money with these foreign affairs programs. This comment here, I'm not going to read that out, but yep, that's basically it. Moving ahead, we've got Charlie Kirk's funeral here in Arizona. And wow, look at this. They initially thought 100,000 people. It turns out it's more like 300,000 people.
God bless America.
Wall-to-wall people. This is unreal. And these are the people who couldn't fit in the stadium, which is what we see here. Every seat in the stadium filled.
All the way around.
Here's a shot from the top, and as this guy says, the worst mistake the left has ever done was taking out Charlie Kirk. We are witnessing the greatest revival of Western values in American history, and it's burning with the fury of 1,000 suns. I mean, look at this. Filled. You have Charlie Kirk's wife here forgiving the man that took him out because that's what she thought Charlie would want.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
What's remarkable is they played this on CBC, which essentially wipes out their entire narrative, their story that they've been running about this. The right's not the crazy side. The right's not the angry side. The right's not the dangerous side. I mean, you see in the comments here, just nasty people. This lady is so fake. She literally just lost her husband. Like, the leftists, they're monsters. With this, we got Donald Trump coming out. And listen to this. He highlights not only the people celebrating Charlie with vigils around the world, but people in Calgary.
Look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. In the days since Charlie's death, we have seen how his legacy has touched so many millions around the world. In Calgary, Canada, thousands gathered at City Hall to sing the American national anthem and raise up posters with the name Charlie Kirk.
And meanwhile, what's Mark Carney doing? Well, he recognized Palestine as a state. We've got Brian Lilley saying this when terror lords are saying, thank you, you're on the wrong side. And that's what we see here in their language. But we don't need to read this because we have the leader himself right here welcoming Mark Carney's recognition.
أول شيء إن هي إعادة القضية الفلسطينية.
So this guy speaks really fast, so I'm just going to read it out, but it says great historical achievements. First thing is that it brought back the Palestinian today. Why do all countries? Give me just one example. Why do all the countries recognize Palestine now before October 7? Was there a country that dared to recognize the state of Palestine? Just give me one example of that. Now the harvest of October 7 is what made the whole world open its eyes to the Palestinian cause.
هل في دولة تجرأت على أن تعترف بدولة فلسطين؟
As you can see, this is the senior Hamas official. Dictator Mark likes dictator stuff. Yes, he does. I'm so disgusted. I am disgusted too. We also got Donald Trump coming out and saying, wow, Canada just announced that is backing statehood for Palestine. That will make it very hard for us to make a trade deal with them, oh Canada. This is what Mark Carney wants. He doesn't want a deal. That's why he's doing this. I don't know if Trump realizes this. Mark Carney right now at the UN General Assembly in New York says more than 700 meeting requests submitted by foreign leaders, CEOs, and other groups. Mark Carney's a popular man. A lot of people want access to that laundry machine, I'm guessing. Like this one here. During the UN, Prime Minister Carney met with President of Namibia, Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. Namibia ties, new trade opportunities, addressing climate change, clean technology, and other shared priorities. Get out of here with this. Namibia can barely pay for roads in their towns. Climate change, this is a money laundering scheme. So this is Namibia here on Western Africa. If I just zoom in here on one of these towns, most of the towns are on the coast. That's where the water is, so that's where they usually are. And we've got Google Earth here. As I said, they don't even have roads in these places. We're going to be doing business with this place? Yeah, right. Unless Canadian businesses are going there to set up mines, there's going to be some serious laundry going on. So with that, Donald Trump's statement there on Truth Social is making its rounds on mainstream news here. Trump says Canada's Palestinian move is a new trade deal stumbling block. Carney's strategy here is working as planned. He's got to keep the boogeyman alive for his next election. And here we got Donald Trump speaking more about this on Air Force One.
Is there any use at all in pressuring Israel now to come to some sort of longer-term solution?
Well, you could make the case that you're rewarding people, that, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that. And I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are, but I am not in that camp.
Mr. President,
because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas. And I'm not about to do that.
Jumping over to CTV, we've got this statement here.
It is now the avowed policy of the current Israeli government that there will be no Palestinian state. Tom, your view on such a critical statement, what does it do to relationships between Israel and Canada moving forward?
It's going to be difficult. And these are things that stay on the record for a long time.
Yeah.
Canada's always been seen as fair-minded, as being able to look at very complex situations like this one and be positive, constructive, come up with solutions. This is strong, but it's also a bit facile. It's easier said than done. Concretely, how does this play out in the current situation? So there's a line in there where the Canadian government is affirming that Hamas will play no role in a future Palestinian government. Really? We get to decide that? And the war that's going...
Well, I don't normally agree with Tom Mulcair. He's often out here praising Mark Carney. He's 100% right here. Do we get to really decide that? Or we can have any say? No, none whatsoever.
Going on right now, and especially the part about the famine, is unforgivable for what's happening to civilians. We can all agree on that. But at the same time, Hamas has the avowed intention of destroying the state of Israel and was getting pretty darn good at equipping itself to at least inflict serious harm, if not that end goal. So what are Israel's options faced with that? I know that the Netanyahu government can be very off-putting, and that's easy to understand. But at the same time, I think the Canadian foreign policy has always been a step above. Now, the fact that we're doing it in lockstep with Great Britain and Australia, and we're being told early in the week with France, means that long-standing allies of Israel are coming together and working together to push a strong message. And I think it's a message targeting an individual less than the state of Israel, because I can't imagine any way that Canada, France, Australia, Great Britain would go against that. But again, actually, the old saying, the devil's in the details. I mean, it's easier said than done. And let's all hope for peace and pray for peace. But I'm not sure that this is necessarily the best step in the right direction at this time.
Okay.
Pretty bad when you got Tom Mulcair saying that there isn't going to be any peace, especially in Canada here. I can see why the Prairie provinces want to leave the dictatorship. Carney does not speak for me or for Canada. I mean, this wasn't voted on in the House. Carney just did this. He's just making a decision because he wants to roll out his agenda. And part of that is, well, I'll let the leader of Hungary explain this. You might be confused by that. Well, check this out. He's got a plan from 2015 of what George Soros wanted to push out through Western nations into the EU. Looks like George Soros' plan is working. And while you're listening to this, just remember Chrystia Freeland had a meeting and direct connection with George Soros.
I do remember how Mr. George Soros published his plan in English in a Project Syndicate publication. It was done 2015, September 26th. And he published a plan. He said that I'm quoting, he write the 6 components of my comprehensive plan. I just quote 2 or 3 points of that. First is, he said very clearly, 2015, that, quoting again, EU has to accept at least 1 million asylum seekers annually. That was the first point. Second, he said, adequate financing is critical. And he proposed to issue long-term euro bonds for financing the migration crisis and the migrants' social and welfare taking care when they arrive to the European Union. And another point which is very important for Hungary, which is involving the territory of Hungary directly into this program, is said that, quoting them, safe channels must be established for asylum seekers, starting with getting them from Greece and Italy to their destination countries, which means to bring them to Greece, to Hungary, and then have them go to Austria. So don't forget that what we are speaking about is not an accidental stories, not a bulk of 10 years of accidental stories. It's a plan which is going on. It was written, it was published, it's known. So we are fighting against an organized gang called Empire of George Soros, NGOs, who are just supporting everybody who is transgressing our legal system and our regulation, and financing illegal activity against our nation. So this is why the story is not just about migration, but it's about how this European Union is working and how George Soros was able to captive the main positions inside many institutions of European Union, buying out MPs and other leaders, and in order to execute the plan which is written, and it's against all the Christian and nation-based political forces. It's against us. It's about how to change Europe and how to eliminate and push aside all the Christian, conservative, national-based political leaders and voters from the European Union decision-making body. So this is the migration about, not just about migration. It's very important.
Seems like George Soros' plan is working. We have so many asylum seekers, people flooding into Canada. They're getting tons of our tax dollars. This is literally Soros' plan in action. He bought the Canadian politicians too. Yep.